welcome to the Everything Is Earned podcast. I'm your host, CLE Tallboy, and I'm here with Tim, aka It Is Contagious, and we are breaking down everything going on in your Cleveland sports world. So here we're going to go with episode 5, and we got a lot to talk about. Big time weekend for the Browns, picking up that dub over the Panthers. I was there. It was awesome.
They're bad. Cam Newton's not good. Bates is a beast. Hugh Jackson's bad.
That's all you got?
That's all I got.
Well, Cam's arm didn't seem right, and I could tell from right off the get-go. He had like about 10 yards to throw it, and that was about it. So not a lot he could do with that.
And as always, his footwork was awful.
Oh, always atrocious. He feels like he doesn't need to work on his game. He's like the Cam Newton and John Wall. They're like the same player. If they're
He's the Cam Newton of Cam Newton.
He's the John Wall of the NFL. He doesn't work on his game once he peaks. So that's what do you got to say, man? You got nothing to say.
I don't know what that.
I don't know what to say. Well, it was a big game. I would say that I love the Perryman throw right at the get-go. Being aggressive when you're a team that only has 4 wins on the season, you really got to go out there and just take your shots. And by doing that, it really made the defense sit back a little bit and gave the Browns the ability to dictate the game plan, which was kind of nice.
Well, Baker came out firing. I think he told a teammate that he was going to try to score on the first play. He was pretty close with a 66-yard bomb to Higgins, I believe.
Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was dope.
So, he definitely came out blazing in the entire first half, actually. He was on fire. He was 11 for 11 passing up until 2 of his receiver drop passes at the end of the half. Yeah,
it was pretty good, man. It was great to watch. I mean, seeing that ball to Landry was unbelievable. It was like, no way he's gonna complete something here. And then he fed it in. We're all just like, what? What is going on? I can't believe he made it. So yeah, I mean, being able to overcome the turnovers was big too. I mean, you go down and you had the Higgins fumble. You also had it was a Landry
fumble. He thought he was palming a basketball, like doing a Euro step or something, just with Luke Kuechly around. Not a smart move.
Luke Kuechly, that boy was everywhere. Oh my goodness, he's fast. He's fast. He caught Landry on that.
Well, I mean, he's slow. Landry's slow.
Yeah,
he did find some wheels on that.
But wow, Kuechly is everywhere. He makes so many plays for the Panthers. Like, if they didn't have Kuechly, that defense would be complete garbage.
Well, Gregg was saying before the game that he pretty much knew the Browns play calls. So he's like in Schobert. He's like Joe Schobert in that regard. Or you can kind of compare that to LeBron James.
Kuechly is better than Joe Schobert, though. Let's not.
He is. I'm not saying, but I'm trying to give you a comparison of how Joe Schobert's been this year. But
Joe Schobert's been good, but Kuechly's otherworldly. He's like
level. He is a bona fide Pro Bowler, for sure. I was saying that Gregg Williams was talking about his ability, his knowledge, and his memory of opponents' offenses, and knowing their adjustments, off the top of his head, and being able to make the adjustments right before the snap. I think that's comparable to how LeBron knows basketball, and how coaches have talked about him, with his ability to hear a play and know what's going on, and be able to dissect their own play and figure out what it is.
Yeah, I agree with you. On that one. The interesting thing about the Browns win too was that it also featured a big goal line stand. That's the second time we've done that at home this year.
And it's Atlanta too.
I know. don't remind me of the Atlanta game, but I'm gonna brought it up anyways. But big time goal line stand, and you're throwing again on 3rd and 4th down. Why do teams feel the need to throw in a short yardage goal line situation? Like, don't you trust Cam Newton go over top? Don't you trust McCaffrey with the wheels? I don't get that.
Well, it started with Pete Carroll messing up, ruining the chance for the Super Bowl a couple years ago, and it's been stuck in people and coaches' head ever since.
I think the league is just so pass heavy that they believe they can complete any pass, and that when you get down the goal line, they're like, yeah, we don't need the space, we got it.
Well, they don't trust the running backs enough.
Yeah, but if you scheme something up, you're seeing a lot more trick plays around the goal line this year. But if you scheme something up, you can typically get a nice look. For example, the Jarvis handoff in the first half, where you had no idea where the ball was, and all of a sudden, boom, there's the ball, there's a touchdown. We tied.
Oh yeah,
we
the
tied this
double
thing up.
reversal, then the little shuffle pass.
Yeah, that's scheming it up. You don't think you
Great
don't.
job by Fuddy, by the way.
Yeah, you gotta bring some of that stuff in the game plan. That's
well, I
kinda
mean, you
important.
could do like what Chicago has done in the past recent weeks and put their defensive tackles in at tight end and fullback and plow it and just run it in.
Yeah, who was the doesn't
Chicago?
The Bears had the
They've done
toss pass.
They've done it 2 or 3 times.
Tossed it in. I mean, the Bears, they're actually having a pretty good season.
It turns out having a defensive player of the year is valuable.
Trubisky's not bad either. He's from Menor.
Hashtag John Gruden.
Shout out Menor, Uncle Mike. So kind of moving on that, some of the things that we had to overcome on Sunday wasn't just the turnovers. It was the bad refs. I mean,
we've had to overcome them all year, though.
Oh my god, we just talked about in the last episode. The refs have been horrible, and it seemed like they were dead set on killing the Browns' momentum.
Well, if you would listen to us week in and week out, you can ensure we're going to talk about 2 things: Baker balling out and the refs being awful.
Yeah, I mean, it's typically the case this year. Hopefully, as the Browns get more notoriety in the league, they end up getting some more calls. But right now, I mean, they're getting the calls, I guess, that their record deserves. But what are you gonna do? So that's gonna wrap things up for our kind of our recap with the Panthers here. Great to have a victory Monday, and obviously we're in a Tuesday and a Wednesday. It's great to have a victory week more or less going into that Buccaneers game. Not Buccaneers, no, it's the Broncos. Going into the Broncos game, my apologies. And that's actually a Saturday game, which is kind of nice. So
prime time, right?
Yeah, no college playoffs, but we're gonna watch a Saturday football game for the Browns. So it's gonna be interesting.
Is it a Monday night game?
No, it's a Saturday game versus the Broncos. Don't correct me, son. I'm on this.
All right,
I'm on this, bro. I know what I'm talking about, man. So what we got next time? What we got going on here?
Speaking of the last few games here, the Browns have won 3 games in the past 5 outings here.
It's
That's
interesting.
the equivalent to Hugh Jackson's record over the past 3 years.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. I'm not a fan of picking up Gregg Williams the rest of the way. I don't like.
So you don't want him as the next head coach for the Browns?
Yeah, that's what I meant to say.
Following the season.
Yeah, I meant to say I like him as the interim. That's great. He's done a nice job cultivating the group and getting them motivated. But I think there's another ceiling to this team. Obviously, you're going to add some more talent through the draft and through the free agency.
So 5-7-1 isn't our ceiling.
No, we ran a poll today, and we think that the Browns would have been in the playoffs had they started with Baker Mayfield. But there's some speculation.
Game 1 instead of starting Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah. So, but my point here is really that
Tyrod.
Yeah,
Tyrod.
My point is with Baker Mayfield and with the right coach, their ceiling is higher than you're seeing right now. So don't get caught up on the success now. I know it's tough. Like, they're winning now. Don't change anything. Let it be. But if you look at teams like the Rams or teams with these
Kansas City.
Yeah, Kansas City. Look at New Orleans. I mean, Drew Brees is he's similar to Baker.
Even the Chargers.
Yeah, Chargers, Philippers. Those offenses can go much higher than what we're seeing right now. So I'd really like to get an offensive-minded young coach. Let Gregg Williams go. Thank him for his time. Let him go get his next gig somewhere else.
Well, put head coaching aside just for a second and think about what he's done or what he hasn't done as a defensive coordinator. He's given us one of the worst defenses in the league for the last 3 seasons. He's been the defensive coordinator. He's put the safety all the way out on the Georgetown Cruise each and every play for the last 3 years. And despite the cornerstone talent that we have on defensive end, Larry Ojanobi, Myles Garrett, Denzel Ward, even Joe Schobert, we've been one of the worst teams. I mean, look at some of these stats. We give up 5.1 third down conversions in the league. That's one of the better stats. That's 21st in the league. Then we did 133 yards rushing, which is 28th in the league. 4.7 yards per carry, which is 27th. And then over 400 yards per game. 411.2 to be exact, which is 31st only behind the awful Cincinnati Bengals. And then we give up 25.5 points a game. I mean,
that's not a recipe for winning. I don't think at all. I mean, you're looking at giving up 400 yards a game. That's a ton of yardage to give up. And if you want to be a bend don't break defense, I don't think that's a winning formula either. I mean, your offense is going to be good and it's going to continue to get better, but you want to have some defensive consistency where you can get a stop when you need one.
What are the turnovers that we create? The turnovers that we created are definitely like.
I think the big problem with the bend don't break defense is that you gas your defense out over a period of time. Like it's not that you like that you can't win that way. It's just if you have to play extended times like overtimes, or if you have to go and get a stop, your team's really kind of messed up at that point. So I don't know. It's tough. It's tough to think about. I don't want Gregg Williams. I like what he's done. I don't want to stick with him, if that makes sense.
Well, the perception of Gregg Williams as defense coordinator is skewed because everyone's been talking about the turnover differential. How we've been we've caused one of the most turnovers in the league, some of the most turnovers in the league. And if that's based off mostly talent. I don't think that's really scheme, for the most part.
Hey, we had people join our little live thing, by the way.
I don't think
Katie and Deidre, so I want to welcome them to the live feed.
I don't think that Gregg Williams is much part of his set. Sometimes you see the scheme, the players do well inside schemes, and I think in this case for the Browns defense, it's talent overcoming the scheme. They're playing well, or they're causing all these turnovers despite the awful scheme that put in by Gregg Williams and his son.
Yeah, we're opportunistic, so they've been taught well in terms of attacking the ball. I like that,
which is good. You want to be aggressive.
But that's going to carry over to any defensive coordinator. Your players aren't going to forget how to attack the ball next year. Like let's be serious.
Yeah, you have to be more than just a motivator as a defensive coordinator.
Right, I agree. So we highlighted Jarvis Landry as one of the players we'd like to see get it going for the last 4 games. And what does he go out and do?
The last 13 games, to be honest.
Well, but last 4 games, we were talking about last week on the podcast.
13.
But he had a big game. He had a really big game. He looked like he was part of the offense for the first time in a while.
Yeah, he was trying to go for the triple threat. He was trying to get a rushing, passing, and a receiving touchdown.
He was trying to get triple.
But he only came up with the receiving and rushing. How about that nifty shuffle pass? That was in the red zone there.
They ran that play twice. He had that big gain out of it. It was the exact same
play.
And
both at Jarvis over there.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
He did midfield or a little bit inside on outside of the field. Then he said it in the red zone. But yeah, he needed a big game and he came out and delivered.
Right, absolutely. And I think it's nice to see him get involved in the offense. If you can have him continue to do that the rest of the way, I'd really like the Browns' chances in building like a future with this offense. And I like to get that chemistry going in the offseason so that we're all on the same page. I don't want anyone to feel like they're the odd man out going into the next season.
So we won 3 out of 5 games. And we've been hearing whispers. Playoffs. Yeah, a little bit.
No, Browns fans have been shouting about playoffs.
Of the playoffs lately. And it's a long shot. It is. But we're going to break down here how it might be possible. And there's 2 different ways here. First one is the Browns have to win out, first of all. And if they do, you need to have Pittsburgh lose out. Yep. So they play New England.
Okay with that.
The Saints, and they play the Bengals. So the Bengals is going to be the toughest one. Because it's going to be it's the last game, and they're already out of playoff contention. So they might just, I don't know. If Pittsburgh's still trying to make the playoffs, they'll make the playoffs, I think, either way, right?
Give me a Hugh Jackson winner to get the Browns in the playoffs. How ironic would that be?
That would be amazing. You keep 2 teams out of the playoffs, or you do your best to, and then you bring one back in. That would be something else. But then, okay, moving on. We have Baltimore. They have to lose at least 1, okay? And they play Tampa, the Chargers, and then they play the Cleveland as well. So they have to lose to Cleveland besides losing another one.
Yes.
And then That's all for the first scenario. Then the second one is if we fail, and that's to win the AFC North. So the first way is to win.
We're
the
going to
AFC
win
North.
the AFC North, guys. Just
yeah, that's weird.
That's
to
the
say.
plan. That's what we're trying to do.
That's what we're trying to do in the first scenario. Okay, second scenario, if we fail to do so, we're gonna try to secure the second wildcard spot.
Make this snappy. I don't want to have to try to draw a picture in my head. What do we have to do?
Okay, second one, to secure the second one. Okay,
second scenario.
Second scenario. We have 4 teams that are currently 7-6. We need all those teams to go 1-2.
Boom. That's it. That's all you need to do. What teams are they?
The teams are the Colts.
Yeah. Good luck.
The Titans.
Maybe.
The Vikings.
Yeah, that'll happen.
And the Ravens, which we were talking about.
The top 2 on that are tough. The Ravens aren't going to go 1-2, and
so
I
we
really doubt
need
the Colts
one
are
or the other.
The Colts have been spicy as of late.
They have been, but they do play the Vikings, Jacksonville, and Buffalo. So yeah, that scenario is pretty unlikely to happen.
So let's just go on a limb here and say that the Browns probably won't make the playoffs. So let's enjoy the last part of the season. Let's enjoy the Baker bombs. Let's get some more chemistry with Jarvis, and then we'll
let's see what our cornerstone pieces are and see who's going to be part of the future.
Yeah,
and who's not going to be.
You got guys that need to play for their jobs right now, so I'm expecting some entertaining football the rest of the way. And I'd love to beat the Broncos because you all hate Elway, and I would love to beat the Ravens because they suck and they went up and left Cleveland basically.
And we all hate Cincinnati.
And we all hate Cincinnati because Hugh Jackson is the worst.
And Cincinnati's defense has been the dirtiest professional sports team since the Bad Boy Pistons, I think.
Yeah, Vontaze
over
Burfict
the past decade
is a real butthole. Not a fan of Vontaze.
So is Pac-Man Jones.
Yeah, but he's not there anymore.
He was for the longest time.
He gone.
Toodles.
So that's gonna wrap things up with our Brown stuff. Let's jump to the Cavs really quick. So we had the best news over the last couple days here. Matthew freaking Dellavedova back in the house.
Dele!
Back where he belongs. Mr. Dellavedova.
Back in the land.
In the land, as it were. We are excited to have him here because he does have some pretty iconic moments in the finals.
He has championship pedigree, actually. Believe it or not.
That dude hustles, man. And he
might get dehydrated off black coffee. But that's what you want from a Cleveland player.
Yeah, he started from the bottom, and then now he's here again.
So yeah,
that's exactly what happened.
So yeah, we traded George Hill and Sam Decker, the great Sam Decker, and we got back Delly injured John Henson, who's a lanky stretch forward center.
He broke his wrist.
But the big part of that is we had first rounder, we had 2 second rounders, which Kobe Altman and Dan Droba are trying to accumulate picks. So that's what's they've been trying to do so over the past month.
So we got picks.
We got Delly.
We got Delly, and we got John Henson, who is currently injured with a wrist injury, but he'll be back because he just had surgery on it. So we don't know a timetable yet, but
I think he'll be back on maybe a week or 2 before Kevin Love. That's that'd be
interesting. Because I like what he can bring.
So I want to see how he fits with Nance and Thompson before he comes back into the fold. And then the week before, we traded Kyle Korver. Sad, probably the best Cavs shooter that we've ever had.
Yeah.
But we got good value out of him. We got Alec Burks, who's a good stretch guard.
He's an expired contract too, by the way.
He can play multiple positions. He's versatile. He's a slasher, and he has good basketball IQ, which is something we need. And maybe he can teach young guys like Colin Sexton and Jetty Osman how to play. Cause he came from the Utah Jazz Quinn Snyder offense, where you have to be. They were a competing team in the West, but 2, you have to have good basketball IQ, and you have to be a good teammate under that coach.
Yeah, so nice trade for the Cavs. Definitely going to give us some more reason to watch some games here. Hopefully, Delly can teach Colin Sexton some defensive stuff. I think Colin could learn to be a little more disciplined with his defense. I like adding another popular player back to the Cavs. I think the Cavs are putting themselves in a nice position this offseason to really set up. Kind of one of the last pieces they have working here is they got JR, who's still on the trade block. Houston rumored to want him, but I don't know what Houston's going to give us.
So is the Pelicans.
Yeah, so
they need another shooter.
Yeah, so hopefully by next week or whatever, we'll have JR gone too, and we'll
have a few more.
picks.
Have a few more draft picks.
Maybe another side player to start watching. So that's always fun. Last thing about the Cavs is Tristan Thompson has been on an absolute tear. The dude is a beast. He's playing like an all-star. Unfortunately, against the Bucks last night, he did strain his foot, so he's out for 2 to 4 weeks. But I got nothing but love for Tristan right now. The dude's been playing out of his mind. So he'll be a vocal leader on the bench, I'm sure. And then you'll have some more opportunity for young guys, and then we'll see some more Channing Frye.
Yeah, he's been playing like an all-star. He's been Mr. Double-Double for the past 20, 24 games here. So majority 18, 20 games. So for the majority of the season, he's really, like you said, stepped up as a vocal leader and taking new strides in his game. He really stepped up on offense, and I think he found a little bit renewed energy on the offensive end.
Yeah, $82 million. I'm about it. Speaking of expensive contracts, how about Larry Nance? He had his best game probably as a Cav this season with 19 points. He
16.
16. Oh shoot, 16. He had 16 points, and he stepped up after Tristan left. I like what he brought to the court, but it's going to be an opportunity for Larry Nance while Tristan's out to really show us something because he's been just awful.
Yeah, he's about 25 now, and he's been in the league for about 5 or 6 years now. So you would like to see some leadership.
Yeah, I just want to see him be better offensively. I don't want to see him make his dunks and not miss them. That'd be really excellent.
Or know when to dunk it and when to lay it in.
Yeah, that'd also be super cool. We'd really appreciate that.
Yeah, if he didn't think he had MJ arms in like Space Jam when he's trying to finish that dunk, sometimes I think he does. But
speaking of Cavs big men, Ante Zizic
needs to be traded too. So if we could package JR and Ante, that'd be awesome. I don't think he's gonna be traded or waived or anything until Tristan comes back or until John Henson's healthy. But when he does, I think we might I wouldn't be surprised if we just waived him or maybe got cash for him.
Yeah, I think people are gonna want him to get some minutes while Tristan's out, but I don't want that to happen. Unless we're gonna showcase him so we can trade him because he's bad and he's not gonna get any better, and he's built for the NBA like 6 or 7 years ago. So let's get rid of Ante.
He's built physically, but mentally and skill-wise, he's not.
Right. Also, let's not be disrespectful towards Zydrunas Ilgauskas. I'm sick of hearing them refer to him as Big Z.
Or Z.
That is reserved for Zydrunas. That's
dude. The Cavs retired his number. You can't
You can't
spell it off.
Calling people Big Z out of nowhere. Come on. I don't care what kind of Z last name he has. Big Z is reserved for Zydrunas.
I don't care if he's great, which he's not. You can't take his nickname.
You can't. Also, how do you spell Zydrunas? Someone yeah, someone teach me how to spell that name. That's super long. That was always a fun.
Say that 3 times fast.
Yeah, Zydrunas Ilgauskas.
It's pretty good.
He didn't appear behind me. I was hoping it was like the Beetlejuice thing. I'd have been so pumped.
But what if Ante should have been? Oh no, you didn't say Bid.
No, that'd be the worst.
Bid Z. What do you have?
He was like, "Sup, guys?"
If you said Bid 3 or Bid Z 3 times fast, and Ante showed up, how disappointed would you have been?
I'd be mildly disappointed. Except I'd like want to
ask him a couple
weird questions about the NBA.
He kind of smells like cheap cologne.
Yeah.
Yeah, right before we go, we're gonna talk about how much of a Cleveland gem Channing Frye has been.
Oh my goodness, I like Channing Frye so much. He's the great leader, and ultimately, I want to see him be a commentator for the Cavs going forward.
Hold on, that's a great idea. What if him and RJ were the Cavs commentators? Would that not be legendary or what?
That'd be so good. If they could do all the Cavs commentary during the game, I would watch so
or
many
alongside Fred McLeod. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Just anything to get Austin Carr out of that seat.
Okay, I like Austin Carr just as much as the next guy,
but
I like him not on the mic. He's very confused.
He needs to be with Campy Russell sitting over a post game.
He needs to.
He shouldn't be doing any. He shouldn't be saying anything during the game.
Yeah, I just don't like. I think the game's passed him a little bit, but I would love RJ to take his spot. That'd be great. Or Channing Frye.
Or both. That would be legendary.
But with Fred.
Yeah, okay. So, ideal commentators. Cavs would be RJ, Channing Frye, and Fred McLeod, and then for the Browns would have to be Joe Thomas.
Oh yeah. He's doing some like pregame stuff. He did some like stuff on the pregame. He did some Thursday Night Football stuff,
which is awesome. So did Chris Carter. He commentated the Carolina Panther game.
Yeah, Chris Carter's awesome.
But if Joe Thomas could become the full-time commentator, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I'm totally down with that. Let's push that down the road. So, all right, guys, that's going to wrap things up here for episode 5 of the Everything Is Earned podcast. I am your host, CLE Tallboy.
And I am Tim, a.k.a. It's Contagious.
Just remember, guys, in Cleveland, everything is earned.